everyone, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a work with me crochet tutorial on how to do this cute Mickey silhouette bubble granny square crochet pattern. Before we get started, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and you made this pattern. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have any questions or if you want to see more crochet content in the future. And with all that said, let's get started. This is the brand of yarn that I went with. It is Lion's brand Pound of Love. So as you can see here, you need a medium-sized yarn thickness or weight, and you can see the crochet hook size right there as well. Now, fun fact, I don't have a crochet hook in J10 or 6mm, so I used a 5.25 crochet hook and it works just fine. All right, so you're going to get the yarn that you have chosen and the corresponding crochet hook. And then we are going to be making our slip stitch to start the project. So this is how I like to do it. I wrap it around, have an X underneath my finger and parallel on top of my finger. And you take that back loop and you pull it through the front loop and you pull tight and you got yourself a slip stitch. Now, if you know a different way to do this, go ahead and do that. This is just what works for me. And I think it's pretty easy for people to follow along with. We're going to put your hook through the hoop and we're going to chain 30. So all you do for chaining is take the working yarn and pull it through the loop. And each time you do that counts as one. So you're going to do that 30 times. So this is what your chain of 30 should look like. They all should be fairly similar in sizing, and if they're not, I would recommend redoing it. But if you are ready to move forward, we're going to go to row 1. So you're going to insert your hook in the second loop, not the first one, but the second one. And we are going to do a single crochet. Now, if you've never done a single crochet, you can either slow down this video or just watch it at normal speed and kind of follow along. But all you do is put your hook through the hoop. You're going to grab some yarn, come out, grab some more yarn, and pull through. Just like that, that is all a single crochet is, and we are going to be doing that 29 times. So you're going to be doing 29 single crochets, and it is very crucial that you have 29 when you are finished, because Mickey ain't going to look right if we don't have 29. This is what your row 1 should be starting to look like, and if you have more gaps or holes in yours, you might want to adjust your tension to make them more unison and tighter. Once you have done your last crochet, that should be your 29th crochet for row 1, and I would recommend going back and counting to make sure you have the correct number. And this is what your project should look like at this point. Now at the end of every single row, you are going to chain 1 and turn your work. So what this does is basically that allows us to have a border where we're not working into the pattern and cutting down in the number of crochets that we're doing, so it will be a square. But we are going to move on to row 2 now. In row 2 is 29 single crochets again. You guys know how to do this, so just do 29 across and I'll meet you at the end. So this is what your work should be looking like after you have completed row number 2 of 29 single crochets. Again, you kind of want your stitches to be fairly tight and together. And we also do not want to forget to chain 1 and turn your work. And this will be row 3, which is going to be the exact same as row 1 and 2. We are going to do another set of 29 single crochets. And after this row is where it gets more interesting. This is what your work should be looking like after row 3, and we are going to move on to row 4. So row 4 is where we're going to introduce the new bobble stitch, but initially all you have to do is do 11 single crochets, and then I will walk you through the bobble stitch that will be in the 12th crochet. Alright, now it's time to bobble. So to do this, we're going to yarn over, put your hook through the next stitch, yarn over again, pull through, and yarn over one more time and only pull through the first 2 loops. Now we got 2 loops on our hook, and we're going to do that again because we were trying to get 5 of those loops on the hook. So we're going to pull through 2 only, and we're going to repeat the steps again. We're going to yarn over. We're going to put through the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2. Now we have 4 on our hook. So we need to do 1 more. So we're going to do that process all over again. And we're only going to pull through the first 2. And now we have 5 on our hook, which is what we want. Now the next step is super easy. All we're going to do is yarn over again and pull through all 5 loops, and then give it a little tug. So that is how you do a bobble stitch. So anytime I say to do a bobble stitch, that is exactly what I am talking about. Next, we are going to be doing a single crochet, and then we are going to be doing another bobble stitch. Now, if you need to see how to do the bobble stitch again, I would recommend slowing down the video using YouTube's playback speed feature and just really getting a hang of it so you can whiz through the rest of the pattern. Next, we are going to do another single crochet and another bobble. And for the final time, we are going to do another single crochet and another bobble stitch. And then after this, we are just going to be doing 11 single crochets to finish out row 4. So this is what your work should look like after row 4. This is what the back side of the granny square will look like. And next we are going to flip over the work, and this is pretty much the easiest part for the rest of the pattern, is whenever you're working on the front facing side of the pattern, you are just doing a single crochet 29 times again in each of the 29 stitches. There is one thing that I want to specifically talk about when doing the single crochets in the front facing side is once you get to the bobble, it's a little tricky to see where the two little loops you are putting your hook under are. So take a look at this video and see how I do that. And then you also do not want to forget to single crochet in between bobbles. There is a stitch there that we did, and we do need to have a single crochet there to continue the pattern. Once you have completed row 5, this is what your project should be looking like, and we are going to move on to row 6, where we will be doing 9 single crochets, 1 bobble, 9 single crochets, 1 bobble, 9 single crochets. And this is going to start kind of shaping the first roundness of Mickey's head. So let's do the first 9 single crochets. We're going to do our first bobble, now we are going to do another 9 single crochets, in the second bobble, and finish with 9 single crochets. And remember to chain 1 at the end of the row and turn your work over. For row 7, we are going to do 29 single crochets just like we did last time, so I'm going to speed this one up by a lot since you guys already know how to do it. Now we are going to do row 9, where you just do a single crochet in all 29 stitches. Moving on to row 10, you are going to be doing 6 single crochets, 1 bobble, 15 single crochets, 1 bobble, 6 single crochets. Remember to chain 1 at the end, flip over your work, and we are going to do 29 single crochets in the front side of the pattern. For row 12, we are going to be doing the exact same thing we did for row 10. You are going to be doing 6 single crochets, 1 bobble, 15 single crochets, 1 bobble, 6 single crochets. You guys already know the drill. We're going to be doing 29 single crochets across the front of this pattern. Moving on to row 14, we are going to be doing the exact same thing we've been doing. 6 single crochets, 1 bobble, 15 single crochets, 1 bobble, 6 single crochets. And then on the front side, we are going to be doing the 29 single crochets again. For row 16, we are going to be doing that same pattern one last time. The 6 single crochets, 1 bobble, 15 single crochets, 1 bobble, 6 single crochets. And then on the front side of the pattern, make sure you do your 29 single crochets, and we'll move on to starting the ears. Now we're going to be starting the ears. For row 18, we will start with 3 single crochets. Next up, we're going to do 3 bobble stitches with single crochets in between. Now we are going to be doing 13 single crochets. Next, do 3 more bobbles for the other ear. And finish off with 3 single crochets. Flip your work over and do 29 single crochets on the front side of the pattern. This is going to start forming the ear. Now we are going to do 9 single crochets to start closing off the top of Mickey's head. And we're going to do another bobble and another 6 single crochets followed by another bobble to finish off that ear. And finish off this row with 2 single crochets. Once again, flip over your work and do the 29 single crochets on the front side of this pattern. Moving on to row 22, we're going to start off with 1 single crochet and 1 bobble. Followed by 9 single crochets in 4 bobbles with a single crochet in between. followed by 9 single crochets and 1 last bobble. And to finish off the row, we'll do 1 single crochet. Make sure to chain 1, flip your work, and do 29 single crochets on the front side of this pattern. Row 24 is very similar to row 22. The only difference is there will not be 4 bobbles in the middle. So let's start with 1 single crochet and 1 bobble. Next, we are going to do 9 single crochets and another bobble. Now we are going to do 5 single crochets. Now do 1 bobble followed by 9 single crochets and another bobble to finish off the ear. And to finish off the row, do 1 single crochet, make sure that you chain 1 and flip your work and do 29 single crochets in the front of this pattern. We are getting close to the end. Let's start row 24 by doing 2 single crochet followed by a bobble. Next, we're going to do 7 single crochet and another bobble. Now do 7 single crochet. We're going to do 1 bobble, 7 single crochet, 1 bobble. And to finish off the row, we are going to do 2 single crochets. Make sure you chain 1 and turn your work and do 29 single crochets in the front of this pattern. For row 26, which is the last row with bobbles, we are going to start by doing 4 single crochets. Next, we are going to do 3 bobbles with single crochets in between like we've been doing. Next, do 11 single crochets. Then do 3 bobbles with single crochets in between again. And to finish out this row, we are going to do 4 single crochets. Make sure to chain 1, turn your work, and do 29 single crochets in the front of this pattern. To finish out this granny square, all you are going to do is do 3 more rows of just 29 single crochets. So we will be working in the back side, then the front side, and ending on doing a row on the back side again. And I will show you guys how to finish off your granny square. Once you have completed those 3 final rows, your square is complete. However, we do need to fasten it off, which I will show you guys how to do. But this is what your work should be looking like at this current point. So this is how I like to fasten off my granny squares now. Is this the correct way? I don't know. But I like to opt for a smaller crochet hook. You don't have to, I just think it makes it easier. Cut off a little tail to the working yarn, and what you're going to do is essentially pull this little yarn through the last hoop we did. So you're not going to do a chain one at the end of the last row. You're just going to cut it off and hook it onto the hook and pull it through the little hoop. Now you can leave the tail a little longer if you prefer to weave it in a bit more than I do, but I just kind of tuck in both of the little working ends. This is how I weave it in. It's probably not correct, and there's probably a better tutorial on this, but this is what I do. I think it looks fine. If the excess after weaving is still too long, all I do is I make sure that it weaves to the back side of the design, and then I just cut off what is extra. And you can see for one of the little tassels that once I weaved it through the back, it was already short enough, so I didn't have to cut anything. Once you have tucked in your little ends, you are complete and you have created your very own Mickey Mouse silhouette bobble granny square.